Hello students, we are going to study part 2 of chapter 6 molecular basis of inheritance. In this part we are going to study the search for genetic material and replication of DNA. In part 1 we have cleared the concepts of the structure of DNA and packing of DNA. The study of genetics started with George Mendel, who introduced factors for inheritance, Sutton and Bowry theory that gave the chromosomal theory of inheritance. The concept of inheritance was understood at the level of chromosome further when Morgan came up with the concept of linkage and recombination at chromosomal level. It was taken a step forward in 1926 when experiments were conducted to understand inheritance at the molecular level. The search was for the molecule which act as genetic material, that is what is the genetic material, whether it is DNA or RNA or proteins or carbohydrate. In this part we will study what is how the it was discovered that genetic material is DNA. Griffith experimented with Streptococcus pneumoniae bacteria. This bacteria causes pneumonia. Two strains of this bacteria were used, R strain and S strain. The S strain that has smooth mucus polysaccharide coat resistant to immune system and it is virulent, whereas R strain lacks the coat, destroyed by immune system of the host, and it is non-virulent. That means R is rough and it do not cause the pneumonia, whereas S is the that is smooth and it causes pneumonia. The experiment was performed in multiple steps. S strain, which was virulent, was injected into the mouse. It was found that mouse died of pneumonia. Then R strain, non-virulent, was injected into mouse. It was found that the mouse remained alive. Heat killed S strain. S strain bacteria S strain bacteria were killed by heating, was injected into the mouse. It was found that the mouse remained alive. Then heat killed S strain and live S strain were injected into mouse. It was found that the mouse died of pneumonia. Griffith found that live S strain bacteria could be recovered from dead mouse. Griffith thus arrived at the following conclusion: something caused bacteria to change from one type R to another type S. Some transforming principle transferred from heat-killed S strain to R strain and transformed it virulent. However, the biochemical nature of transforming principle was still unknown. The biochemical nature of the transforming principle was not known. So, Oswald Avery, Colin MacLeod, and McCarthy worked to determine the biochemical nature of transforming principle in Griffith experiment. They purified biochemicals, proteins, DNA, RNA, etc. from heat-killed S cells using suitable enzymes. They discovered that digestion of protein and RNA using proteases and RNases did not affect transformation. So transforming substance was not a protein or RNA. Digestion of RNA with the DNAs inhibited transformation. This means that DNA caused transformation of R cells to S cells. DNA was the transforming principle. Scientists Hershey and Chase they performed the experiment in 1952 to further confirm that DNA was the genetic material. They experimented with bacteriophages. Bacteriophages are the viruses that infect and replicate within bacteria. Bacteriophages were grown in two different mediums. Some bacteriophages were grown in radioactive phosphorus medium. Viruses grown in phosphorus 32 got radioactive DNA because only DNA contained phosphorus. Some bacteriophages were grown in radioactive sulfur medium, that is S35. The viruses grown in S35 got radioactive protein because protein contained sulfur. So these bacteriophages have radioactive protein. Both these bacteriophages of the preparation, that is phosphorus, radioactive phosphorus and radioactive sulfur, were used separately to infect E. coli. After infection, E. coli cells were gently agitated in a blender to remove the virus particles from the bacteria. After blending the virus particles, they were separated from the bacteria. Then the culture was centrifuged to separate lighter virus particles from the heavier bacterial cells. Bacteria infected with viruses having radioactive DNA were radioactive. That is, DNA had passed from virus to bacteria. And the bacteria infected with viruses having radioactive protein were not radioactive. That is, protein did not enter the bacteria from the virus. This proved that DNA is the genetic material. So in this diagram, you can see two bacteriophages. One is labeled with radioactive S35, second is labeled with P32. When they are infected to bacteria E. coli and then they are agitated with the blender, the bacteriophages they were separated and their material is transferred. So after centrifugation, the bacteriophage which is labeled with sulfur, no radioactive sulfur was detected in the cell. So the protein capsule that contained the radioactive substance, whereas in which the phosphorus was labeled, the radioactivity was found in the cell. So it was radioactive in supernatant, whereas there was no radioactivity. In this, the radioactivity was in the cell only. It was proved by Hershey and Chase that DNA is the genetic material. Now, what are the properties of a genetic material? A genetic material must have following property. The very first property is it is able to replicate. That means it should be able to form the carbon copies of it. That means it should able to replicate. It should be chemically and structurally stable. It should provide the mutation needed for evolution. It should have ability to express as Mendelian characters. Now another important topic, why DNA is stable whereas RNA is less stable. DNA is less reactive than RNA and RNA is more reactive than DNA and it can mutate easily. The reason for the DNA to be more stable, that is, it is double-stranded and presence of thymine, whereas RNA is single-stranded and presence of uracil is there. In RNA, the OH group is present, as you can see in the figure, the OH group is present on the second carbon, whereas in DNA there is only H group on the H hydrogen atom on the second carbon of the sugar. That is why DNA is more stable and RNA is less stable. Thus, DNA is more stable and RNA is unstable. So, RNA is present in the viruses like bacteriophages, TMV, it can mutate and evolve faster. DNA strand, they are complementary to each other as we have studied earlier. On heating, they separate. In appropriate conditions, they come together. In Griffith experiment, some properties of DNA of heat-killed bacteria did not destroy. It indicates the stability of DNA. For the storage of genetic information, DNA is better due to its stability. DNA is stable, but for the transmission of genetic information, if we have to transmit any genetic information, RNA is better. RNA can directly code for protein synthesis, hence can easily express the characteristics. DNA is dependent on RNA for protein synthesis. So DNA after transcription, it forms RNA and after translation, RNA form the proteins. So, DNA is dependent on RNA for protein synthesis. DNA directly cannot form the proteins. The question that was bothering everyone was which molecule, DNA or RNA, to exist in the world before. Walter Gilbert in 1986 hypothesized that there was once an RNA word. According to this hypothesis, all that we see today has been evolved from an RNA word. RNA word was a kind of hypothetical word where RNA performed all the activities which are today performed by DNA and proteins. DNA later evolved from RNA with chemical modification which made it more stable. So RNA was the first genetic material. It acts as genetic material and catalyst. It is essential for life processes, metabolism, translation, splicing, etc. And DNA is evolved from the RNA for stability. Now, central dogma of molecular biology. Francis Crick in 1956 proposed the hypothesis of central dogma. This explains the flow of genetic information in any biological system. Three major classes of biopolymers are involved in this flow: DNA, RNA, and proteins. These three categories of biopolymers, they form the central dogma of molecular biology. So in central dogma, DNA form the RNA, RNA form the protein. DNA that replicate and DNA by transcription form the RNA, RNA by translation form the proteins. In some viruses, flow of information is in reverse direction, that is from RNA to DNA. It is called reverse transcription. As in HIV, it can undergo reverse transcription. In DNA replication, DNA form copies of exact copies of its like. DNA replication. Replication is the process of reproducing or creating a copy of something. In this topic, we will see how DNA creates copies of itself. Various hypotheses were proposed by various scientists regarding replication of model of DNA, that is, how DNA replicates. Some of these were semi-conservative DNA replication model, conservative DNA replication, dispersive DNA replication. In semi-conservative DNA replication model, each strand acts as template for synthesis of a new strand. The new strand is synthesized based on complementary bases pairing with the template. In conservative DNA replication, according to this model, complete DNA molecule and not just one strand act as template for new synthesis. In dispersive DNA replication, the new DNA is synthesized in short pieces. A part of the old strand is attached to the end of the part of the newly synthesized strand. Out of three hypotheses, the semi-conservative model of replication was accepted. It was given by Watson and Crick. In this, it suggests that the parental DNA acts as a template for the synthesis of new complementary strand. After replication, each DNA molecule would have one parental and one new strand. This was proved by Michelson and Franklin Stahel. Michelson and Stahl experiment. This experiment was performed to prove semi-conservative nature of DNA replication. Matthew Michelson and Franklin Stahl experimented with bacteria E. coli in 1958. They prepared two culture media of E. coli. One preparation that contained ammonium chloride salt in which nitrogen was heavy hydrogen nitrogen was heavy nitrogen, that is heavy isotope of nitrogen. So N15 was incorporated into both strands of bacterial DNA and DNA become heavier. The other preparation that contained ammonium chloride salt in which nitrogen was the N14 and the salt was N14 salt. So N14 was incorporated in both the strands of DNA and became lighter. These two types of DNA can be separated by centrifugation in cesium chloride density gradient. They took E. coli cells from heavy medium and transferred to the lighter medium, that is from N15 medium to the N14 medium. After one generation, since E. coli that multiply after 20 minutes. So after one generation, after 20 minutes, they isolated and centrifuged the DNA. Its density was intermediate, that means hybrid. Half was N15 and half was N14, that is in between N15 and N14 DNA. This shows that the newly formed DNA has one strand is old and one strand is new. This confirms semi-conservative replication. After that, they after second generation, the two bands were formed. One light band and one hybrid band was formed. So it was confirmed that parental strand exists and new strand is formed on the parental strand. So this proves semi-conservative replication of DNA. After Michelson and Stahl's experiment, Taylor and colleagues they performed experiment on Vixia faba. using radioactive thymidine to detect distribution of newly synthesized DNA in the chromosomes. It proved that DNA in chromosomes also replicate semi-conservatively. DNA is a self-replicating structure and DNA replicates semi-conservatively. However, DNA replication is catalyzed by a set of enzymes. Let us learn about machinery and enzymes involved in DNA replication. The enzyme, the first of all, for initiation, the enzyme required is helicase. Helicase is the enzyme which unzips the DNA strand by breaking the hydrogen bond between them. Thus, it helps in the formation of replication fork. The next thing which is required in initiation, that is single-stranded binding proteins. It bind to single-stranded DNA and protect it from forming secondary structure. For initiation, one more enzyme is required, that is topoisomerases. Now, for synthesis of leading strand, the enzyme primase DNA polymerase is required. Primase help in priming, and for the elongation, DNA polymerase is required. Priming of Okazaki fragment is also done by the enzyme primase and DNA polymerase that also help in the elongation of the fragment. For the joining of fragments of lagging strand or Okazaki fragments, the enzyme required is ligase. DNA replication demands a high degree of accuracy because even a minute mistake would result in mutation. Thus, replication cannot initiate randomly at any point. For the replication to begin, there is a particular region called origin of replication. This is the point where the replication originates. The unit of replication with one origin is called replicon. During replication, the two strands they unwind by breaking hydrogen bond in presence of the enzyme helicase. Helicase open the DNA and replication forks are formed. The DNA is coated by a single-stranded binding protein around the replication fork to prevent rewinding of DNA. Topoisomerase prevent the supercoiling of DNA. As the strands are separated, the polymerase enzyme starts synthesizing the complementary sequences in each of the strands. The parental strand will act as a template for newly synthesized daughter strands. DNA replicates in 5' to 3' direction. Deoxyribonucleoside triphosphates like ATP, GTP, CTP and TTP act as substrate and provide energy for polymerization. Firstly, a RNA primer is synthesized in presence of an enzyme primase. RNA primers are synthesized by primase. These primers are complementary to DNA strand. DNA polymerase III start adding nucleotides at the end of the primers in prokaryotes. However, in eukaryotes, the initiation process is also complex and pre-replication complex is made with initiator proteins. In eukaryotes, the polymerization process is carried out by the enzymes, and whereas in prokaryote it is done by DNA polymerase III. In the presence of the enzyme, many nucleotides they join with one another to form two primer strands and form a polynucleotide chain. During replication, one strand is formed continuous, that is in 5' to 3' direction, that is called continuous synthesis. This strand is called leading strand. The other strand is formed in small stretches, that is Okazaki fragments in 5' to 3' direction, that is discontinuous synthesis. The Okazaki fragments are then joined together to form a new strand by an enzyme DNA ligase. This new strand is called lagging strand. If a wrong base is introduced in a new strand, DNA polymerase can do proofreading. The process of replication is very fast in eukaryotes. In E. coli, it is completed within 18 minutes. In eukaryote, the replication of DNA takes place at S phase of the cell cycle, as you have studied in class 11. Failure in cell division after DNA replication result in polyploidy. From haploid, diploid is formed, and if diploid they are fail to fail to separate, then there occur many sets of chromosomes, that is called polyploidy.